Hey everybody, I am David, and today I am going to be talking about Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, the fourth film in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and the one that maybe everybody likes the least or hates the most. I don't know, whichever one you prefer. Even as someone that's a fan of the franchise, even I can admit by this point, the franchise kind of halted. This is my least favorite. I'm gonna start off with that, and there are some good things to enjoy, I think. So let me start off with that. I think the characters that you know from the original film are still as enjoyable as they were then. Johnny Depp returns as Jack Sparrow. We got Jeffrey Rush returning as Barbossa. Even though I'll say Barbossa, there was something that bugged me about him. I didn't like the idea of him working with the Royal Navy. As someone who lost his ship and all that, and he has alternate agendas, it still didn't feel like the Barbossa I came to know and love from the first three Pirates of the Caribbean film. And then we got Gibbs returning as well, and he's great. As Jack's right-hand man. But then that's the only returning characters that we really got in this film. A lot of the newer characters, some are hit and miss. And the ones that hit, I think, are the villains. I do think, I forgot the actor's name. I think it's Ian McShane as Blackbeard. I thought the actor who played Blackbeard was really good, and Penelope Cruz as the villainess is really great as well. I think she has a sexiness with her that really works well with Jack's character. Other than those two, though, I am going to say I think the rest of the supporting cast are really forgettable. Specifically, this character he's like a priest. I think he is a priest, and the mermaid that he kind of falls in love with. These two characters are supposed to be like the Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann of, I guess, this new trilogy that they tried to do, but clearly didn't work out. They're really forgettable, and the rest of the characters, they're just there for the ride. I mean, I think even the other characters that had minor roles in the first, the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy, I think even they had more memorable parts than some of these supporting characters. Unfortunately, there's not really much they do. They're just, here's your new Will and Elizabeth. Here's some more pirates who serve the bad guys. They don't do much. Even the mermaids, when, you think a movie, wow, they're getting into mermaids now? This should be pretty cool. That's something we never seen in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies before, and they're kind of wasted when they're there. They're cool when they're there, but they don't really do much. So, that's kind of a disappointment. I gotta say, though, if you love the score from the first three Pirates of the Caribbean movies, you'll love the score here. I think the Pirates of the Caribbean score is one of the best. And Hans Zimmer returns from the second and third film to return and do the score for On Stranger Tides. It's something that I'm actually looking forward to for the fifth movie, Dead Man Tells No Tales, because I do think Hans Zimmer is one of the best composers out there right now. And if it's as good as he's already done, I'll be definitely buying another Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack to go along with the rest. The special effects are what you'd expect from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. There's nothing outstanding there, but like I felt Dead Man's Chest and At World's End had, like, those visuals were mind-blowing. The visuals here are good, but nothing stands out like the other two films do. They're just, passable special effects. The story is what you'd expect from a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. They're going on this adventure to go look for this treasure that, you know, the MacGuffin of the film, which in this case is the Fountain of Youth. Because if you do look at the theme of all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, the whole situation with Jack is him trying to obtain eternal youth. He wants to live forever. And I felt, though, by the end of the third movie, he kind of accepted the idea of him finally going to die. Now, I know at the end of that movie, they kind of put the tease that he's looking for the Fountain of Youth already, but it kind of ruins his character a little bit. When I felt by the end of the third movie, he had become this heroic figure that, you know, has finally accepted that maybe death will one day be his fate. This movie kind of puts him back to the Jack we used to know back in Pirates of the Caribbean 1. Now, some people might think that's a good thing. Me, if you're taking a character to a certain direction, you shouldn't put him back to what he was, but whatever. He is still an enjoyable character, and we do love Johnny Depp playing this character. And I guess in some ways we don't really want to see him change too much. He does still have some heroic moments in the movie. There are moments where he tries to save certain people. I don't want to spoil too much, so I'll leave it at that. But for the most part, I do want to see the character development that he's had from those first three movies carry on into future films. Now, what will Dead Man Tells No Tales will do, I don't know. We'll have to see where they have Jack and where they take him. But they are hyping it as the final adventure. So will we see him fully embrace his heroicness and do what a true hero needs to do, like not thinking about living forever, but rather than doing everything he can to sacrifice himself to save his friends and others from whatever the threat could be. We'll have to wait and see. But for the most part, I am going to say that Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides is, you've been there, done that sort of situation. Like, this brings nothing new to the story or to the characters. This just puts them on an all-new adventure. They try to freshen it up by kind of taking it back a little bit, making it a more smaller and personal story. But really, for me, it doesn't work as well as I think they were hoping for. And I think for a lot of people, too. After all, everybody says after the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, the movies don't seem to get back as good as the original. I disagree a little bit because I like Dead Man's Chest a lot, and I really do enjoy At World's End, even though not as good as the first two. On Stranger Tides, to me, is the weakest of the bunch, and it does get a little slow and boring at times, too. So, overall, I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. I think it is the weakest Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I think it is pretty skippable, unless the new film can do something to kind of make up for it and make us, hey, you know what? Maybe the fourth movie is very important to the overall franchise. But right now, I'm looking at it as a way you can kind of avoid it. So there you go, the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie. You don't really have to watch it if you don't want to. It's your choice. But to me, it's the one that it's the most avoidable. So with that being said, like this video, comment below and tell me your thoughts on the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, because we all have different opinions. Maybe you guys hate it more than I do. Maybe you think I'm right and you think, you know what, David? The fourth one wasn't that bad. You're right. Or maybe you love the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie and put it just as good as the original, or maybe even better. I don't know. And subscribe to my channel if you are just lingering around and you happen to like this video. You know, that's a good idea to do, because I do so many other videos, reviews and top 10s and all that stuff. And until next time, guys, take care.